Hello there, and welcome to another Starfield video. Today we're taking a look at another, kind of unique ship. Now, saying it's unique is probably, it's probably a bit of an understatement. So, I was looking through the game files, and I was kind of just basically looking for ships that I haven't reviewed. And I came across this ship, and when I seen the name of the ship, I was like, okay, maybe it's like the Frontier. So I spawned it in and I'm like, that's not the Frontier. So this is called the default player ship in the game files. And as you can see, it's like an early variant of a Ghost, which is pretty interesting. Now, one thing you'll see here again, and this is something that's kind of common with a lot of these ships that are either they're cut content or like ships that were never intended to be flown. You see it has weapons on it, but when you look at the actual stats of the vessel, it doesn't have weapons. Now, just to compare real quick, I do have a Ghost here, so we can see... Whoops, wrong one. So we can see the difference there with it. It uses some similar stuff, but then obviously different stuff too, which is pretty interesting to the Watchdog, not the Ghost, sorry. I always call it the Ghost, but the Ghost is a variant of the Watchdog. So anyway, so if we look at the stats, it's got a fuel of 50, which is, pretty mediocre, which compared to the Watchdog is also 50. It's got a hull of 398. It's got a cargo capacity of 650. It's got a A-class reactor with 16 power, crew of 2. It's got a jump range of 20 light years, 310 shields, and then no weapons. Even though the weird thing is, it has a laser and a ballistic, which is pretty interesting. So yeah, let's take a look at it, shall we? Now, obviously, if you were going to make this, it probably cost around 50k creds, but realistically, would you want to? Because it's going to be an unmanned, or like a poor man's Ghost. Alright, so let's go check it out. So this is something I've noticed with a few of these ships. I don't know, if it's... I don't know, if it's intended... But the fact that, we have... So we have the weapons here, basically. And they're not actually functional weapons. You'll see when we kind of get in and mess around. They're completely, they're just there. But they don't do anything. Which is pretty interesting. Then you can see at the back here, it's only got one engine as opposed to the Watchdog, which would have 3 sets of the engines. Or one, 3 engines. Got my crew follow me. Which is kind of interesting, because, this kind of gives an insight to, I'm assuming, when the devs were first kind of trying to figure out what ship to give the player. And clearly, early on in the game's development, they had intended on giving them this as the default ship, and then at some point they changed it to the Frontier, which is kind of interesting. I like the Frontier, but I will say I do like these kind of Hope Tech vessels a lot better. Let's head inside anyway and see how she is. So everything seems quite normal from here. In we go. Oh, no, ladder won't work. Yep, here we go. Now, interior here, we have just a standard control station. And we have the docking port there. Okay, so nothing unusual about this control station. It is what it is. And then if we head up on top, we have just one of these fuselage pieces, companionway, and then we have the bridge, cockpit, pilot seat, co-pilot seat, navigator. It's nothing strange anyway, so let's hop into it, see how she performs. I mean, it's going off of the stats, it's going to be very mediocre. Alright, so let's see if it has the engines function. One of the things with these kind of these ships you're not meant to get is the engines don't actually fire up, and it doesn't have a grab. Okay, no, the engine. Okay, the engines fire up there. It looked weird though. It looked like the engines weren't synced. Okay. So as you can see, power-wise, it doesn't have very much. I have a perk that increased my power by 5, so for the sake of this review, we're not going to be using that 5 power. Now, as you can see, we have no weapons, even though there is weapons there. So it's got a base speed of 150 because we've got that single A-class engine. Boost speed is probably going to be 500. Yeah, it's about 500. Quick little agility test. It's not very agile as it only has one engine. Oh, it's very slow. Jesus Christ. Okay, yeah, this is extremely slow. So I'm assuming the kind of the purpose of this ship was it was probably meant for testing. When it like, you know, when it was first created. Just to maybe, I don't know, maybe to mess with or to test some stuff with the player. Anyway, we're going to head down to the planet and we'll show you how to make it. Not that you probably won't want to, but you know, you never know. Alright, so we've got the ship split into 3 sections. Now, I've noticed something interesting, which we'll get to in a second. Start here, we've got the Armstrong 10 cockpit from Hope Tech, 200 cargo, 2 crew. Behind that, we've got the Hope Tech companionway fuselage. Now, it says here we have a Mauler 104L cannon, A-class, 1040 range, 3.49 fire rate, 13 shield hull damage, and 4 power. But we don't actually have one. And then on the other side, it says we've got a Reza 45 GHC megawatt pulse laser from Shinigami, A-class, 1040 range, 6.65 fire rate, 11 shield damage, and 4 power. So they're not there, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can... We'll put them here for the minute. We'll basically see if we can actually get them working. No, we still can't get them working. Oh, maybe. Hold on now. Alright, we'll see in a minute. And then behind that we have the R1000 Alpha Grav Drive from Reladyne, A-class, 9 power. 60 jump thrust, which gives us 20 layers. On top we've got the M10 Ulysses Helium-3 tank from Dogstar, 50 each, 50 fuel. We've got the Ammon 2 engine from Ammon, A-class, 2 power, 7,440 engine thrust, 1830 maneuvering. And then we have the 10S protector shield generator from Dogstar, A-class, 3 power, 310 shield. Now, something to note here, and this is kind of what highlights, so there's So basically, when it comes to like how the developers build ships, they don't build them using the ship builder like this one. They have like their own separate thing, and I'm going to show you kind of why. So, as we see here, this is mounted on top, okay, but this shield generator here, it can't sit in the side. See that? So even though this has 2 snap points here, this shield generator can't actually snap to it. It can snap to the top, but where it's supposed to be, it can't snap. So this is, you can clearly, this is kind of showcases the whole of, you know, a ship that's built in a different kind of environment than the ship builder, which is pretty interesting. So if you were to, you can't technically recreate this ship. Now, let me see. So this is the R1000 Alpha Grav Drive. If we were to spawn a different one, let me see. Yeah, same thing again, which is a weird one because it has the snap points. Let me just double check. Can we? Yeah, you can snap things to the side of it. I'm not sure. Maybe it's maybe it's the shield generator. Let me see if we can get a new shield generator. The 10S. Okay, so again, interesting here. So it's actually the shield generator. So this shield generator is different than this one. Which, again, very interesting. I don't know how the devs have managed to this. Maybe this one here is an early one, potentially. But yeah, it doesn't... What the hell? What's that trying to snap through there? Interesting. I don't know what that's trying to snap through there. That was weird. Yeah, that's, I don't know what was that, but yeah, that's just interesting that you know, it is that way, considering this one works properly. But anyway, middle of the vessel we have the Hope 11 Docker 4 from Hope Tech. We've got the Hope Tech control station 2x1. We've got 2 Hope 55 landing gear from Hope Tech, 4 thrust each. Then we have the Tokamak XO50 reactor from Xi'an, A-class, 16 power, 340 hull. We've got two of these V101 cargo holds from Projector Systems, Caravel, the 225 each. And then at the bottom we have the Hope 4 landing bay and we have the Hope 5 landing gear. So if we put this ship back together and we assign the weapons this time to C, because that's another thing that's, what's the error? Okay, so already it's telling me that this doesn't, basically this doesn't work, which is pretty interesting. So just for the sake, we're going to remove this for now, and I just want to see, ship is unattached, modules. What modules are unattached? Interesting. Ignore that. My phone just went off. What modules? Oh, these? Oh, did these not attach either? Interesting. So another thing here is that these... Well, this one does. What? What's going on here? Interesting. So this one does, but this one doesn't. So again... I don't know how the devs have did this. Again, maybe it's because they're like spawning in a different variant. Now, will that snap the other side? No, okay, it won't. So that's pretty interesting. Okay. So yeah, so we're just gonna delete these and we're gonna see if the weapons actually function this time. So does it say we have weapons? Okay, we have weapons this time. Let me just jump in the ship real quick to see if the weapons show up. Yeah, it's cool kind of seeing these sort of weapons. There's a few content ships or ships that like don't exist that I want to kind of showcase. Yeah, okay, so the weapons are now showing. We'll just do a quick fire them off. So, okay, so yeah, so our weapons fire now. Okay, so that's pretty much it, but I just thought it'd be cool kind of showcasing some of these weapons. What is that? What are you? Oh, you're a longsword. Ah, you're a UC longsword. You look cool. Just thought I'd showcase, you know, the... What? Oh. Why is that number on the right? 4960. What is that number? What the fuck? I have no idea what that number is, but apparently we don't have a shield, but we do have a shield. Interesting. I don't think I've flown a ship without a no, because normally without a shield it'll like say no shield. But anyway, it just kind of showcases that these clearly were like never intended to be used by the player. They're just there for like either testing purposes. But it's kind of interesting how you see like certain pieces don't actually fit together. You have to kind of, you know, spawn new ones, which again kind of highlights that Bethesda, when they're building their ships, they don't build them in the ship builder. But anyway, that's it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to subscribe and check out my other ones. And I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.